So it's come to this. I'm making a video reviewing people who review videos. I am critiquing the critiquers. Right when you thought bottom feeding couldn't get any worse, I have established a new gold standard. The only reason I'm making this video is because through the past couple of years, I've made some videos about the angry video game nerd and all the missteps he's made with his channel, especially Rex Viper. But after my many years of being a YouTuber, I went on to discover there's actually a whole cottage industry of people who have gained a ton of subscribers from airing their grievances about the angry video game nerd. The fact that you could literally grow a channel by a significant number simply by bitching about another content creator is kind of amazing and just shows how much we really do like the tea. We're addicted to the drama. Isn't that right, Internet Ajay, Turkey Tom, Patrick, CC, iDubbbz, Ethan Klein? I'm right there with you. I myself love a good AVGN dissertation, but there's no channel that seems to do it better than these guys at Red Cow Entertainment. I can't believe I'm doing a video on this, and for all of you who like my music-based content, just bear with me for this one video. This is Dancing with Ghosts. So the Red Cow podcast consists mainly of two lads named EJ and Frankie. The full podcast is on Patreon, but to entice people to subscribe, they would clip out bits from their show and upload them to YouTube. Their podcast would consist of them talking about just whatever was on their minds, whether it be Marvel, movies, their kids. But one day, they happened to upload a video commenting on the angry video game nerd. James Rolfe had just released his Nerd Room setup. He does one of these videos once, every 10 years. I personally watched the video and I thought, whatever. Typical on the spectrum James Rolfe, showing how needlessly anal he is about every little detail in his Nerd Room. But then the guys at Red Cow got a hold of it and released a reaction video where they just absolutely demolished James and his asinine filming setup.
Yeah, bizarre solutions to problems that can be solved easily.
But he presents them not as if hey, does anybody know what you do about X? Or he presents them like they're kind of impressive. Like, oh man, when you're a YouTuber, you got to do all this stuff.
Yeah, you got to tape the tripods to the ceiling.
We'll get there.
Because both of these guys have a lot of experience with filming, video editing, lighting, and the like. They proceed to point out the sheer stupidity and inefficiency of the Nerd Room set in a way that felt fresh to my ears. I would say of the two hosts, Frankie is clearly the lead guy and usually delivers the wittiest zingers, so he really had a field day with this Nerd Room video.
It's a whole YouTube channel that's a front for Raycon earbuds or something. And ExpressVPN. There's the mob behind this thing. Don't you hate shitty games? Now buy these earbuds.
EJ is more of the sidekick, throwing in commentary here and there and laughing very loudly at his own jokes, but it usually helps to have a sidekick to bounce off of when doing a podcast. By the time Frankie and EJ were done critiquing this video, they truly made James Rolfe look like an insane person. I thought that, I already knew James was on the spectrum and super anal retentive, but man, the way they described it, it really made me take another look and think, yeah, that really is batshit insane. Why are you wiring your tripods to the ceiling? Why are you cutting a camera stand in half so you can have a mid-level shot of yourself? Why are you drilling a hole through that hard 80s wood of your childhood desk? It really made me take a second look and realize, wow, James really does have something cognitively amiss, giving all these solutions he comes up with to solve all of his various problems in the Nerd Room. So this reaction video did really well for the Red Cow guys. When I finally stumbled upon their channel, I gotta admit my first thought was what is this? Is this a part of something I don't know about? Is this based on some successful show and this is some weird spin-off podcast or whatever? Because the set looks really professional, how it's lit, how it's shot, how it's edited. So I was like, what is this? Who are these funny guys who are so eloquently breaking down all the reasons why the Nerd and Screenwave have just gone downhill and lost the plot? So then I look at their main content, their main bread and butter channel. And it was them reviewing boxed macaroni and cheese. I was a bit disappointed that their main content was reviewing fucking boxed macaroni and cheese. It almost reminded me back when I was a kid and I'd buy a CD from the record store and it would have that one really good song and all the other songs were just kind of meh. Now, I haven't watched one of their Box Mac videos because, quite frankly, that content has no appeal to me whatsoever. I don't watch food videos. I don't necessarily care about boxed macaroni and cheese. I would eat it if you presented it to me right now. But either way, they've grown quite the cult following from them critiquing essentially everything James Rolfe or Screenwave has done, and I'm here for it. I mean, It's hot now to pile on James Rolfe.
Fuck.
Because for the longest time, he was kind of like that folk hero of YouTube for the simple fact that he had stayed out of drama and nobody had reasons to make videos speaking negatively of James. He was almost the sacred cow. It was like, oh no, you don't talk bad about James Rolfe because he is the one figure that we can point to on this site to show you that yes, you could still be a good person and preserve your good name throughout the years. You don't automatically have to fall into the drama. He was the shining beacon on the hill. And though his infractions might not have been as egregious as some other YouTubers, it's just the fact that finally we start to see some cracks in the armor. It's kind of that natural thing where someone gets so big and you just want to see him fall. I don't know why people are like that, but it seems to be the natural order of things. And I think James had that coming for a while now. And it's finally happened. He's put out some bad content. He's hired incompetent people who really fucked his channel up. And now the bell tolls for thee. And a lot of people, like I said earlier, have made little careers off making videos that are slamming the nerd, myself included. Quite frankly, I've made like 3 or 4 videos about the nerd, and they've all received thousands of views, and I've gotten a couple hundred new subscribers who went on to listen to my band, Dancing with Ghosts, much like they probably did for Red Cow. They probably listened to Frankie say, "It's a shitload of fuck," and then proceeded to watch their Box Mac videos, and that's great, because these guys have been making content for a long-ass time. As a result of all the new subscribers to their clip channel, they decided to release a video where they explained who they were and what kind of stuff they've done in the last decade.
I'm Frankie, and I head up Red Cow Entertainment, a small group of friends and creators out of Massachusetts who have been making feature films, podcasts, web series, documentaries, reviews, and animations for decades.
I couldn't believe that they had been content creators for so long and have remained so under the radar. But then I remembered my own YouTube channel, and I completely understand because the exact same thing has happened to me. I've made YouTube content since 2015, and I'm just barely about to crack 10,000 subs, so who am I to say? But yeah, these guys have done all kinds of things. They've done other podcasts in the past where they would talk about movies like right after seeing the movie in the theater. They would do thrift shop pickup videos. They would do the Box Mac, which seemed to kind of be their main focus. And then they finally did their infamous Patreon podcast that they would clip out. I guess they both had at some point in their lives had watched The Nerd and were inspired by The Nerd, which again, I can totally relate to. Like I've said in the past, many times the whole reason I'm making content on YouTube is from being inspired by the Angry Video Game Nerd. So they decided to talk about him. They covered his setup, which is probably their most infamous video. They talked in depth about his book. I also listened to the book as well on Audible. I'm here, Audible. I'm available. Call me. I was thinking about doing a video review myself on the book, but I don't care enough about that particular aspect of James Rolfe. Rex Viper is really the thing I'm most grossed out by when it comes to AVGN. I don't really feel a need to pick apart every single thing that is wrong with the channel or every single weird fuck up. I'm more interested in his shitty ass cover band because music is my thing, and I may not be an authority on much, but when it comes to music, I know a thing or two. So I really love tearing that band a new asshole anytime they release something. And please release something, Rex Viper. I need to pay my electric bill. But yeah, EJ and Frankie talk about the book. They talk about Kieran rage quitting. Kieran worked for Screenwave. Now Kieran has been made aware of these guys. And then you have the Cinemasker Truth Forum on Reddit, which is basically like the mecca for anybody who has a quarrel with James Rolfe, Cinemasker, Screenwave, etc. So, of course, the Cinemasker Truth has eaten these Red Cow guys up, and, rightfully so. They are hilarious. They are able to, in such an articulate fashion, say all the things we've been feeling and noticing, and it's just nice when someone else gets it, man. They'll even point out things that you kind of noticed in the back of your mind, but you didn't really think to bring it up, and I think that's really the draw that these guys have. They're very meticulous in their observations. And I just gotta say, Frankie should have been in comedy. This guy is just so naturally funny and so naturally quick with the things that he thinks to say or the commentary he makes about James Rolfe.
You know what I don't give a fuck about? Content. Producing it. I gotta do it all the time. And then you gotta hire slobs. But nobody likes the slobs. I want to make that video.
The guy can impersonate his mannerisms, his cadence. He seems like a very talented and very entertaining individual. EJ seems like he's more on the tech side of things as far as his knowledge of filming. And as a side note, EJ, I could swim in your pale blue eyes for days. So yeah, if you haven't liked the Angry Video Game Nerd in the past couple of years and you want to spend your free time listening to two people bitch about him in a very fun and entertaining way, I gotta recommend Red Cow Entertainment. And though their other content may not be for me, if you really like boxed macaroni and cheese and you want to watch other people eat it, then check that out too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what the reception is going to be. This could be my worst performing video. It could lose me subscribers. I don't know. I've enjoyed their content. Felt compelled to make a video examining these guys. So anyway, hope you have a good rest of your night. Good night.